Let me ask you a question here. Have you ever actually put lipstick on a pig?
You know,
Whoops.
the answer would be no. But I think it might be fun to try.
I know the reaction to that was you are overreacting. You stand by that?
Absolutely. Yeah, look, this is, if you, this is sort of silly season in politics. Mm-hmm. Not that there's a non-silly season in politics. Right. But it gets sillier. Right. And, you know, it's a common expression in at least Illinois. I don't know about New York City. Uh-huh. I don't know where you put lipstick on here. but in Illinois, the expression connotes the idea that if you have a bad idea, in this case I was talking about John McCain's economic plans, that just calling them change, calling it something different, doesn't make it better, hence lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig.
Now what I like about this scenario is because the Republicans demanded an apology.
Yes, they did.
So that means there had been a meeting at some point, somewhere along the line.
All of them.
Yeah. They got together and they said, you know what? He called our vice presidential candidate a pig. Well, that seems pretty unlikely, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind that technically, had I meant it this way, she would be the lipstick. You see.
Well, you're...
But now we're...
I don't know. You're way ahead of me.
Yeah. The failed policies of John McCain would be the pig.
Now, do you feel like for the last week and a half, last 2 weeks, that the campaign...
I mean, you know, just following the logic of this illogical situation.
Following the logic.
Yes,
the fact that we're talking about this now, do you feel like within the last week and a half or so that there's been, you're derailed a little bit and now you're campaigning against not necessarily the Republican tickets, but John McCain, not him, but Sarah Palin?
Well, look, there's no doubt that she's been a phenomenon. I mean, you know, as somebody who used to be on the cover of Time and Newsweek, you know.
Those were the days.
Those were the days. I had a recent offer with Popular Mechanics. They
take it.
Say centerfold.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a wrench. Yeah, but no. Look, she's on a wild ride, and there's no doubt that she's energized the base. But ultimately, what we've seen over the last week is a concession on the part of the McCain campaign that this election's going to be about change. You'll recall, you know, for the last 2 years we've been talking about needing to change how Washington works, how the country is managed, and people were saying, no, it's about experience, experience, experience. Mm-hmm. And over the last week and a half, I think they recognized that, no, the American people want something fundamentally different, and for a good reason, because when you travel, it doesn't matter whether you're here in New York City or a tiny you know, hamlet somewhere in the Midwest, what you find is people are just having a tough time right now. The economy's not working for middle-class families. Incomes have gone down. People don't have health care. You've got foreclosures all across the country, and so people want something different. And whoever makes the better case that we have had enough of the last 8 years, we need something fundamentally new, whoever makes that case to the American people will be the next president.
You're campaigning now, aren't you?
I am.
Campaigning.
Had to throw a little.
Had it said.
Had to throw a little campaign in.
But now, Labor Day weekend, we hear that John McCain has selected Sarah Palin, and nobody knows, except maybe people living in Alaska, who that is. And we think, in the beginning, we think, oh my God, this is the worst decision the man could have made. And then, subsequently, it turns out to be a pretty good decision for the man, for the party, certainly for the ticket, and calculated. No question about it, calculated. And I'm wondering if he had picked Sarah Palin before you picked Joe Biden,
right.
Is there a chance that maybe you would have selected somebody else? Would that have affected your choice?
You know, the way I thought about it was, who's going to help me govern? Who's the person I want in the room if we've got a big decision to make? who's going to be able to give me good counsel, good advice, who's able to maybe have some ideas that I don't have, or give me a perspective that I haven't seen. And I think that nobody can do that better than Joe Biden, and I know what he cares about and what he stands for. I think he's going to be a great choice.
When word came out that it was Sarah Palin, what was your personal reaction? What was the reaction of the folks around you?
You know, we didn't know much about her.
Right.
And I think that, you know, obviously she's a skilled politician, and, you know, she has energized their party. But what I think are pretty confident about, we'll know, you know, if she does more interviews with people and talks to them about what her ideas are. I think what we're going to see is that she shares John McCain's view that the policies of George W. Bush have worked pretty well. All right? So McCain has said we've made great economic progress, the economy is fundamentally sound. You haven't seen any separation between them and what we've seen over the last 8 years. And so the bottom line is, if you think the last 8 years haven't worked, if you think that the government can do a better job creating jobs, building the economy, making sure that kids can go to college, providing health care to people who don't have it, then it's hard to figure why you would want 4 more years of exactly the same policies.